a warm welcome and lots of good wishes on becoming part of our YouTube channel. Congratulations, and on behalf of all the members, we are all happy and excited about your input and contribution to our channel. Please subscribe our YouTube channel. Please tap the bell sign. Immediately you'll get a notification. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. The purpose of this channel is to promote the kingdom of God. Now we have an important topic. The topic is the religion of Islam. As a Christian, you need to learn and understand the religion of Islam. As Muslims as well. Some of the contents are the origins of Islam, the origin of Qur'an, the tenets of Islam. Is Islam a religion of peace? A great comparison of Islam and Christianity. And how to responding to Islam. First, the origin of Islam. Recent events in the Middle East and the US has brought the religion of Islam to the public eye and generated much interest. The hostage crisis in Iran in the late 1970s. The war with Iraq in the early 1990s. The attack on the World Twin Towers and the Pentagon in 2001. The US war against international terrorism in response to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict over the past 50 years. The increasing popularity of Islam has also caught the attention of many. It is estimated there were 1.6 billion, one-fourth of the world population, Muslims in 1998. Many live in the Arab world, 120 million. Many more live in countries such as Iran, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, China, remnants of the USSR, Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and Sudan. It is the world's fastest-growing religion. It has grown 235% from 1935 to 1983. Christianity, 47%. An estimated 10 million Muslims reside in the United States, 1996. 34,000 Americans have converted to Islam following the events of September 11th. The highest rate of conversion since Islam arrived in America. Such growth can be attributed to a number of different factors. High birth rates, militant and evangelistic fervor, independence of Islamic countries, wealth, for example oil, education in other countries. Christians need to become more familiar with Islam to better understand world events, our neighbors, and in some cases, our enemies. To be able to share the gospel of Christ with those who in many cases know the Bible better than many professing Christians. In view of the need to understand the religion of Islam, let's take a brief look at the origins of Islam. The beginning of Islam. Muslims point to Abraham, Moses, David, Jesus. They believe Abraham, together with his son Ishmael, rebuilt in what is now Mecca, the first temple in the world for the worship of a single God, whose name in Arabic is Allah. That Moses, David, Jesus, and others were prophets sent from Allah. That God delivered the Torah to Moses, but it was corrupted by the Jews. That God delivered the gospel to Jesus, but it was distorted by the apostles. Muslims believe in all messengers of Allah, without any discrimination among them. As every known nation has a warner, or messenger from Allah. They were chosen by God to teach humanity and deliver His divine message. The Qur'an mentions the name of some of them, including Jews, including Adam, Noah, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Job, Moses, Aaron, David, Solomon, Elias, Jonah, John the Baptist, and Jesus. Peace be upon them. Muslims believe in all original scriptures and revelations of Allah, accepting them as the guiding light that the messengers received to show their respective people the right path to Him. However, some of these books and revelations had been lost or corrupted before the revelation of the Qur'an, the only authentic and complete book of Allah, in existence today is the Qur'an, which has been preserved as it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad through Angel Gabriel, in its pristine, pure form. The role of Muhammad. In Islam there can be no confusion or doubt that Muhammad was a man and only a man, chosen by the Creator to fulfill a divine mission as a prophet. Muhammad's mission was literally to read what Allah had ordered and ordained, nothing more. The prophet received his revelations from God, sometimes in solitude, sometimes in the presence of others. Words flowed from his mouth in a way that others described as inspired. This was Muhammad's wahi, divine inspiration or revelation. Muslims believe that the Qur'an is the word of Allah, expressed through the revelations to the Prophet. The history of the Prophet, his deeds, and sayings, were at first memorized by his companions, and passed on as oral record. They were first comprehensively recorded by the historian Ishaq ibn Yazar, ca. 768. Later the deeds and sayings of the Prophet, the hadith, the circumstances surrounding their occurrence, and the evidence of those who first witnessed and reported them to others were recorded by a number of scholars. Muslims thus believe that Islam goes back even to Adam, Noah, and Abraham. They base this on the proclamations of Muhammad. Because of the significance of Muhammad and his successors to Islam, it is beneficial to have at least a basic understanding of the early history of Islam and the life of Muhammad. In 570, born into the leading tribe, Quraysh of the town of Mecca. Father dies before his birth. His mother dies when he was 6 years old. Raised by his grandfather, then his uncle Abu Talib. His name means highly praised, and many have taken name since. As a youth, he travels with trading caravans, and is exposed to many teachings, including Judaism and Christianity. In 595, at age 25, he marries a widow named Khadijah, 15 years his senior, who becomes a devoted companion. In 610, he claims to receive the first revelations of the Qur'an from the angel Gabriel in a cave on the summit of Mountain Hira, where he often went to pray and fast. Commissioned to be the messenger of God, to reveal the word of Allah. A process involving a series of revelations lasting the rest of his life, 23 years. Illiterate, he recited while others wrote words. In 612, he begins teaching in a religiously volatile atmosphere. Pagans influenced by idolatry did not like his monotheism. Jews and Christians balked at his claim of revelations. He converts his wife, his cousin Ali, and friend Abu Bakr, successor. In 3 years, 40 people accept Islam. Relations with his tribe, the Quraysh, become tense. Persecution of Muslims begging. In 615, he encourages 80 Muslims to emigrate to Abyssinia, Ethiopia, for safety. 616. Persecution of Muslims in Mecca intensifies. A ban against marrying or trading with the Muslims lasts 2 years, causing food shortages. Shortly after the ban is lifted, his beloved wife Khadijah dies. In 619, his uncle and protector Abu Talib dies, exposing Muhammad to great risk. In 620, Arabs from Yathrib, Medina, make contact. The envoys convert to Islam, pledge not to fight the Muslims, invite Muhammad to come to Yathrib and lead their Ummah community. In 621, the events of Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj supposedly take place. Al-Isra, Gabriel takes Muhammad to Jerusalem and back in one night. From the Kaaba in Mecca to what is now known as the Dome of the Rock, Muhammad meets Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and others. Al-Mi'raj, Muhammad taken to the heavens to see the signs of God. In 622, Muhammad and 70 families flee to Yathrib, Medina, 250 miles north. Leaders of the tribe of Quraysh plot to kill him. Gabriel warns Muhammad to flee. Called Hijrah, the night of migration, this marks the beginning of the Muslim era. Residents of Mecca view the Hijrah as a defection. Vow revenge. 1 and 624. Two major developments occur. The change of Qibla, direction of prayer, toward Mecca instead of Jerusalem. Muhammad tells the congregation to turn around and pray toward Mecca. This began to distinguish them from Judaism and Christianity. The adoption of Ghazw, raiding caravans for booty to support families. Muhammad leads a band to intercept the largest Meccan caravan for that year. This leads to the Battle of Badr, in which Muslims defeat a large Meccan army. In 625, the Battle of Uhud, outside Medina. Army of Mecca defeats the Muslims. Jewish tribes of Qaynuqa and Nadir expelled from Medina for collaborating with Mecca. In 626, he began to take several wives. Favorite is Aisha, daughter of Abu Bakr. In 627, the Battle of the Trencha. 3,000 people of Muslims defeat a much larger Meccan army, 10,000. Followed by the massacre of 700 men of the Jewish tribe of Qurayza, their women and children sold as slaves. For their support of the Meccans against the Muslims, perceived as betrayal. It did not lead to hostility toward Jews in general. In 628, Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Peace is made between Medina and Mecca. Muhammad, now the most powerful man in Arabia. In 630, Meccans violate the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Muhammad marches on Mecca with a large army of Muslims and their allies. Mecca concedes defeat without a fight. Muhammad takes the city without bloodshed, no one forced to convert to Islam. He destroys the idols around the Kaaba, believed to have been built by Adam, rebuilt by Abraham and Ishmael, rededicating it to Allah, and gives the old pagan rites of the high pilgrimage to Mecca and Islamic significance. In 632, Muhammad dies. Abu Bakr elected as his Khalifa representative. Virtually all the tribes of Arabia had joined the Ummah, Muslim community, either as converted Muslims or confederates. Single-handedly, Muhammad had brought peace to war-torn Arabia. After the death of Muhammad, in 632-34, the Caliphate of Abu Bakr, Muhammad's close friend and early follower, whose rule was chiefly preoccupied by the wars of Ridda, apostasy. Usama leads expedition to Syria. Battles of Zukis and Abrak. Battles of Bazaka, Zafar and Nakra. Campaigns against Bani Tamim and Musaylima, the liar. Campaigns in Bahrain, Oman, Mar Yemen, and Hadramaut. Raids in Iraq. Battles of Kazima, Mazar, Walaya, Aliz, Hira, Anbar, Ain Tamar, Damachil Jandal and Firazk. Battles of Basra, Damascus and Ajnadin. Death of Abu Bakr. In 634-44. The Caliphate of Umar ibn al-Khattab, another associate of Muhammad who preserved the unity of the Ummah by extending the Ghazw raids to neighboring countries. Battles of Namarak and Sakashab. Battle of Bridge. Battle of Buaib. Conquest of Damascus. Battle of Fall. Battle of Yarmouk. Battle of Qadsiya. Conquest of Madain. Conquest of Syria. Fall of Jerusalem, 638. Battle of Yalula. Conquest of Yazira. Conquest of Khizistan. Advance into Egypt. Capture of the post of Khazaria in Syria. Conquest of Shustar and Saber in Persia. Battle of Babylon, in Egypt. Battle of Nawand. Conquest of Alexandria in Egypt. Battle of Ray in Persia. Conquest of Egypt. Conquest of Azerbaijan and Tabaristan, Russia. Conquest of Fars, Kerman, Sistan, Mekran, and Karen. Martyrdom of Umar, assassinated by a Persian prisoner of war in the Mosque of Medina, in 644-56. The Caliphate of Uthman ibn Affan, another associate of Muhammad who continued the Ghazw. Campaigns in Khorasan. Armenia and Asia Minor. Campaigns in North Africa. Conquest of the island of Cyprus. Campaigns against the Byzantines. Naval battle of the masts against the Byzantines. Discontentment and disaffection against the rule of Uthman. Martyrdom of Uthman, assassinated by discontented Muslim soldiers, who proclaim Ali ibn Abi Talib as the new caliph in 656 to 660. The Caliphate of Ali ibn Abi Talib, cousin of Muhammad. A 5-year civil war ensues, known as the First Fitna. Time of temptation. Battle of the Camel. Aisha, Muhammad's wife, and others lead a rebellion against Ali for not avenging Uthman's murder. They are defeated. In Syria, the opposition is led by Uthman's kinsman Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. An attempt to arbitrate leads to Muawiyah deposing Ali and proclaiming himself caliph in Jerusalem. Ali is murdered by a Kharijite extremist. Ali's supporters acclaim his son Hazan as the next caliph, but he abdicates, and Muawiyah becomes caliph, who starts what becomes known as the Umayyad dynasty, moving the capital from Medina to Damascus. In conclusion, this has been a brief look at the first generation of Muslims in the period of Muhammad and the first 30 years after his death. The first 4 successors to Muhammad are known as the Rashidun, rightly guided caliphs. They were companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Their period of rule would be just as formative as that of the Prophet himself. Muslims would define themselves and their theology according to the way they assessed the turbulent, glorious, and tragic events of these years. In view of such a turbulent and violent history, can Islam truly be a religion of peace? Its adherents say, yes! And most Muslims today are very peaceful. The word Islam is derived from the same root as the word salam, peace, and silm, the condition of peace. Islam means to abandon oneself in peace. A Muslim, consequently, is one who in peace gives or surrenders himself or herself to God. Islam means accepting the faith freely, heart, mind, and soul. Surrendering to Islam, as a result, means giving oneself to belief without reservation, accepting the tenets of faith, and following both the letter and the spirit of the Qur'an's prescriptions. In our next study, we will take a look at the Holy Book of Islam, the Qur'an.